There's so much fear going on in the world right now, brothers and sisters. There's so much to take our minds off of the things of Yahuwah and what he's doing above, and we focus on the things below. But if we aren't firmly rooted in his word, we can be tossed by every wind of doctrine and false belief. And without knowing it, fear becomes an idol. So anytime we bow down to anything that does not honor Yahuwah through his Son, it becomes a place of worship. It becomes such a subtle thing we don't even recognize sometimes. Our heart is given over to whatever we give it to. And we need to trust in our Abba Father. To him, if we're not trusting him and trusting his word, then those things are idols in our lives. Romans 8:15. For you did not receive a spirit that makes you a slave again to fear, but you received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father, because he saves us when we call him with a humble and repentant heart. He always saves his people. He saves us. He gave us his Ruach to be able to strengthen us. Luke 18:7. For will not Yahuwah defend and protect and avenge his elect, his chosen ones who cry to him day and night? Will he defer them and delay help on their behalf? I tell you, he will defend and protect and avenge them speedily. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith upon the earth? I think we need to say, yes, he will. We cannot fear anything. Fear him, but not fear man. We will see that being attached to the things of the world keep us bound to the lower frequency of life. It opens doors to oppression and harm in our lives. When we are set free of that bondage, which our Messiah set us free of sin and death, he set us free of it, it's been done, then the true healing can begin when we realize it. We have to trust and be willing to let go of the outcome of every situation we encounter. So when we hold on to the outcome of a situation, we're basically saying we don't trust you, Father, that his purpose and his plan and his will is good. What if he has a plan for us that we don't understand and we're in the way of it? So we have an outcome that we desire. We can pray to him for things, and we should. But we need to trust his outcome. He works all things together for good to those who love him and are called according to his purpose. So letting go, not being attached to the outcome, because the outcome is fleshly. It's our desire for an outcome, so our desire is of the flesh. And we need to let go of that. We can't control what happens to us. We trust him for what happens to us, but we can control our reaction to things, and that's what he wants us to have, self-control and understanding that when we fear the things of the world, we aren't trusting him. We have to be willing to let go of the outcome of every situation we encounter. That means whatever happens to us, whatever situations we encounter, understand he's working that out for a purpose we don't understand. We can look at the life of Job, and we will look at him in a minute, and see that this is how Yahuwah works, and we'll see why. If we trust Yahuwah and Yahushua, we will not love the world or the things in it. So he tests our hearts. He tests us to see if we truly will love him when we face adversity, when we face losing those things, because he has to take the world out of us. And we'll see this in a few minutes. Abba has already planned paths that we should take. He's already purposed a plan for us. He has already made his greatest intent into our lives. If we only understood that, he has a greatest purpose and plan. It is up to us to surrender fully to his will and his way. So fully surrendering means we don't attach to anything of this world, the outcome of our situation. We trust in him, whatever he's working, because he's working it out for our good. So we go through refining so that we can be pure and fruitful for his kingdom, and we can be in his presence because he wants his children to be with him in his presence eternally. It is for his esteem and not ours that he plans. His plans will not fail if we'll only believe. If we'll only believe. Our Messiah said so many times, O ye of little faith, why did you doubt? We doubt the word of Yah, but we trust the world and the lies of the world. It makes, it's hard to overcome that sometimes. That's the giants in the land that we face, the things that we have to overcome. And it's the fear of what the worldly things and the man is doing. And if we don't trust Yah, his word is good. His word stands. The world is perishing. His word will stand, and we have to trust in it. Just like the 12 spies in the land when they were trying to enter the promised land, only 2 of them knew that they could go in and take the land because they trusted in Yah. We see all these things, these miracles. We have to learn from the past of what the mistakes of other people made. We need to learn from those mistakes and learn how to imitate the things that they did that were successes and get rid of the failures. And the 10 spies of the land who brought back the bad report, Yah said, you're not entering the land. You're not going in. You're going to die in this wilderness. And it's that important to Yah that we trust him and trust his word, because it's good. He will deliver us every time. He delivers. He delivers. And if we didn't go through anything, how could he refine us? And if we didn't go through anything, how could he deliver us and strengthen our faith in him? So when we trust in him, we enter into his promises. We get rid of ourself and our desire for our will and our desire, and we trust his will and his desire. Things will change, and we'll bring this kingdom on earth. We'll, be like Daniel, be like David, be like the 2 spies who didn't fear the bad report in the land. Be the strong people of Yah who stand up to the giants, who know that when they're put in the fiery furnace, they're going to stand and not be burned. This is the kind of faith he's calling us to, and we have to have it in this time. Proverbs 19:21, many plans are in a man's heart and mind, but it is Yahuwah's purpose for him that will stand. The Ruach showed me this week about how trees can have parasites on them. Large and small trees can be taken over by a parasite that grows upon their branches. Most shrubs stay to themselves, but there's an opportunistic shrub that desires the residence and inhabiting the trees in its midst, which is mistletoe. And this reminds me of the spiritual forces of wickedness, the unclean spirits. Mistletoe is a parasitic evergreen shrub, and it embeds its root-like structures or claws, if you will, into tree branches. And once it has embedded into the branches of the tree, it begins to steal and rob the tree of vital life force energy and its substance, absorbing in itself the water and minerals from the tree that it needs. So we know that Yah talks about us being trees planted by streams of living water, that we would grow into these strong trees from a little plant, mustard seed of faith will grow into this strong tree of faith, and will be planted by streams of living water, and will be drawing from the life source. But things like fear and things we hold on to of the world, it becomes a parasite in our lives. It robs the vital life force energy from us. So if we understand, if we look at what it really is, fear as what it really is, or holding on to the past, holding on to unforgiveness, and not letting go of the things of the past, it is a parasite. And let's just face it for what it is. When we see the serpent on the tree, we see the curse, and we notice it. Now we need to take care of it. Now we can face the giant, and now we can overcome it. So if severe enough, mistletoe can kill an oak tree by robbing it of its nutrients. It can kill a tree. It earns its genus name, Phoradendron, which means thief of the tree. And we are reminded of this scripture, John 10:10, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. Our Messiah came that we may have life and have it more abundantly. So you'll see how this mistletoe is a thief to the tree, just like the destroyer and the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy our good life for the kingdom. Psalms 1:1, But Baruch, blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of Yahuwah, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that he does he prospers. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For Yahuwah watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked shall perish. North Carolina State University Cooperative points out that mistletoe weakens trees most during periods of stress, such as drought, when it robs them of water to feed itself and ultimately causes death of many trees. In Hosea 4:6, we see, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you as my priests. Since you have forgotten the law of Yahuwah, I will also forget your children." Yashayahu, Isaiah 2:22, "Stop regarding man in whose nostrils is breath, for what account is he?" 1 Corinthians 10:1, "I do not want you to be unaware, brothers, that our forefathers were all under the cloud, and that they all passed through the sea. They were all immersed into Moshe in the cloud and in the sea. They all ate of the same spiritual food and drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank from the spiritual rock that accompanied them, and that rock was Messiah." Nevertheless, Yahuwah was not pleased with most of them, for they were struck down in the wilderness. These things took place as examples to keep us from craving evil things as they did. "Do not be idolaters as some of them were, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and to drink and got up to indulge in revelry." We should not commit sexual immorality, as some of them did, and in one day 23,000 of them died. We should not test Messiah, as some of them did and were killed by snakes. And do not complain, as some of them did and were killed by the destroying messengers. Now these things happened to them as examples, and were written down as warnings for us, on whom the fulfillment of the age has come. So the one who thinks he is standing firm should be careful not to fall. No temptation has seized you except what is common to man, and Yahuwah is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide an escape, so that you can stand up under it. Do you see that special little last sentence there? There's always a way of escape. It's a spiritual thing. You'll have to understand that he always provides an escape. He's already prepared a plan for us, a way, a path, that we should walk in it. And he's already made a way of an escape for us, if we'll just believe. So mistletoe-infected trees suffer a high mortality rate after severe drought than non-infected trees. So especially when we're at our weakest, we're more vulnerable to these things, the spiritual unclean forces. The only way to control mistletoe from your tree is to cut it off by removing it, because mistletoe Historia, its tendrils, can grow inside the branches. You must prune it off. This will not prevent more mistletoe shrubs from growing from seeds that germinate, but it will stop your tree from losing water and nutrients to existing mistletoe parasites. So we know that we have to take every thought captive, we have to make it obedient to our Messiah, and we have to do this spiritual work to keep these parasites, this fear, this unforgiveness, this sins, all this sin and death, the curses. We have to continually work to keep that off of our healthy spiritual tree, our life. Mistletoe is associated with the pagan holiday kissing tradition. It could be considered the kiss of death to the host tree on which it grows. So, I wonder if this is why it's used in the pagan traditions. It seems to be mocking Yah's people as the kiss of death, because mistletoe kills the tree, can kill the tree, or rob it from its life force energy. So it seems like it could be a mockery of Yah's people. It's just a thought I had. This shrub, the mistletoe, grows modified roots in an unlikely place inside the tree branches. So we see that also the modified word, the word that's gone out into the world, that's been altered and adulterated and changed, it's not the true word of Yah, where Yah says that we need to obey his Torah and obey his instructions while he fills us with his spirit to be able to understand how to walk it out in spirit and truth. We grow in it. We grow in perfection. We're not perfect immediately. We grow in that perfection, and that's where his mercy comes in. But it's been adulterated to say that his instructions, his Torah, has been done away with, and that we don't have to obey him anymore, and that his Sabbaths have been done away with, and his feasts have been done away with. And this is a modified word. This is a modified, and the roots of that get into a person, their tree, their spiritual life, and it sucks the life out of them. Because the Torah is life. The spirit of Yahuwah is life. The spirit of our Messiah is life within us. So it's gotten into the people's hearts and minds and steals their life force and true word right out of them. This is why Yahuwah wants us to remove the leaven from within us, to make atonement so that we can remove all this modified tendrils of the parasites within. Get rid of the leaven of the Pharisees, get rid of the leaven of the world, get rid of everything that we've been told, and be transformed by renewing our minds and receive this new spiritual insight and information, and be filled with his Ruach to walk in it in spirit and truth, and fear no evil. According to the University of Florida, mistletoe is a parasite that, by extracting water and minerals, it, just like the world, dehydrates and robs a tree of its life force, and it robs us of the true living water and the true bread of life, the word, and our Father's love, this living water that waters this word within us and fills us to overflowing so we can share this truth. And damage caused by mistletoe, by these parasites. Healthy trees can withstand some mistletoe growth without life-threatening consequences. So I guess you could say we can also handle some, but is it really fruitful for us to have any of it? Any of the pride of life and the lusts of flesh and the desires of this world, and to treasure the things of the earth rather than treasuring the eternal things? For eye has not seen nor ear has heard the things that Yah has prepared for those who love him. So we're walking by this hope and this, this faith, this deep faith in him that there's better things to come. But severe mistletoe infestations can cause irreparable damage, just like this infestation of the lawless word can cause damage to a person's spiritual growth and development. And that also goes in line with the parable of the sower of the seed, where it falls on rocky soil or tilled up soil, or it gets choked out by the things of life, the things of the world. The seed, the word of Yah, can be choked out by the weeds and the tares and all this stuff, and it can be stolen from us, and we can't grow that good seed within us. This is what fear does. This is what the modified word, and this is what the parasites of the world do. This brainwashing and indoctrination of the word, saying that his instructions have been done away with, when his instructions are the good seed that's to be planted in our willing heart as we surrender all to him and allow him to implant this word in us and grow it through the Spirit. It's a beautiful thing. Individual branches may die, and entire trees may suffer reduced vigor, stunted growth, or death as Historia suffocates branches. So it can damage us, it can suffocate us, it can stunt our growth. All this modified word, this parasite stuff that comes in, that's not the pure word, the bread of life and the water of life. If it's not the true word, it can stunt us. If we allow fear in, unforgiveness, anger, hostility, love is the highest energy that we can resonate at, that his frequency, when we love him and his ways and surrender to him, then he can fill us with that highest frequency and get rid of all that stuff, those parasites. We have to believe, though. The greatest damage to tree health is the loss of its water to mistletoe growth, particularly when mistletoe is flowering and producing its poisonous fruit. So it's poisonous to us. And as an obligate parasite, mistletoe can only grow on living trees. If its tree host dies, mistletoe cannot survive. So an unclean spirit has to find a new host when its host dies, and it roams through dark, dry places looking for a new host. Don't allow yourself to be a host to this by allowing all the things of the past to cause you not to love. The love will raise your frequency. The love of our Creator will give us his healing energy within us, and our Messiah died for it. As mentioned before, effective control for mistletoe parasite is to completely remove it from its host tree. Cut it off. Pruning affected branches as soon as you notice mistletoe growth is critical to preventing the plant from being able to produce more flowers and seeds. 2 Corinthians 10:4, for the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. John 15:5, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser of the vineyard. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, and every branch that does not bear fruit, he prunes to make it even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. Just as no branch can bear fruit by itself unless it remains in the vine, neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. So good. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you these things so that my joy may be in you and your joy may be complete. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not understand what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, because everything I have learned from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you, and I appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give you. This is my command. You love one another. Love the Father. Love one another. It's the highest frequency that gets rid of all the evil. Don't let the world steal your joy. Don't let the world steal your fruitfulness and love for Yahuwah, love for our Messiah, love for one another. Don't let it destroy and suck the life out of you. Whoever hates me hates my Father as well. If I had not done among them the works that no one else did, they would not be guilty of sin. But now they have seen and hated both me and my Father. But this is to fulfill what is written in their law. They hated me without a cause. Because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. Psalm 91:14. Because we hold fast to him in love, Yahuwah will deliver us. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. When we look at those who feared in Scripture, it brought their fears upon them. Yah allows the desires of our hearts to come upon us so we can face it. When we have something that's not fruitful for his kingdom, he has to allow us to face it, see it, and now prune it off of us and overcome it. So holding on to the things of this world will keep us trapped to the lower realm and not the higher realm of healing. Even Job had to discover that what he feared came upon him. Job 3:25. For the thing I feared has overtaken me, and what I dreaded has befallen me. I am not at ease or quiet. I have no rest, for trouble has come. Why is fear or ego, flesh, sin, pride, etc. an idol and a parasite in Yahuwah's eyes? Because like mistletoe on an oak tree, fear steals the life force right out of us. Not only fear, brothers and sisters, it's pride, arrogance, ego, the sins of life, the pride of life, the lusts of the flesh, all this stuff, fear of man. It takes our life substance and makes us unfruitful for the kingdom. Anything that we hold on to of the past and of this world that does not serve Yahuwah and his kingdom is harmful to our bodies and our health. Anything that is a parasite to our spiritual growth and development causes us to be unfruitful for his honor and esteem. It was Yahuwah's love of Job that he did not want Job to stay in torment, to fear. For Job could not experience the true love of Yahweh walking in fear and dread. But at the end, he knew who could save him. Job had everything, though, a man could want. But he could not be fruitful and offer his love and gratitude for everything Yahuwah had done for him, because Job lived in mental torment. And although highly regarded as a great man, Job's life was unfruitful. We often think that Yahuwah is punishing us when we go through the refiner's fire, and it seems like bad things happen to us. But this could not be further from the truth. When we have come into the love agreement with our Abba Father through his Son and follow his Torah in spirit and truth, that means we grow in it, grow in our understanding through the Ruach HaKodesh. It is Abba's love that he has to cut out the mistletoe from our lives, the parasites, because mistletoe roots into the tree branches and sucks the life right out of us. These things suck the life energy out of us, his substance, his bread of life, and his water of life. The only way to get rid of it is to cut off the affected areas. Through Abba's Ruach, we are refined in the furnace of affliction because he is pruning those places as we surrender to him daily. And don't hold on to the outcome, because he's got a better plan. He's already got it purposed, the plan he has for our lives. We have to get out of the way. This removes the parasites from our lives and allows for new growth and spiritual development. It gets rid of the unclean spirits. So we can now be fruitful for his kingdom. It is truly in his mercy and love that he cannot leave his children in misery, to sin, fear, idolatry, sickness, mental torment, etc. How could a loving father leave us like that? So he prunes everything out of us so that he can build us back up, healthier, full of faith, no longer harboring fear, past our sins, regrets, ego, pride of life, the worthless things that somehow we think are important. Let go, brothers and sisters, of everything that is causing you to hold on to the past. He's asked us to let go of those things. Let go and lay it down, cast it down, remove it from your life so you can be fruitful. So you can have joy and shalom and health and healing and his restoration. And even if you still have a thorn in the flesh, he can still give you a spirit of joy and abundance. He is merciful and full of love to cut the bad places out of us and help us to grow in our fruitfulness so that we can honor him with our new life. Remember, the mistletoe has to be cut off because its tendrils grow into the branches. It's like in there, tight. It grows all throughout it, so it has to be cut off. Just like us, we have to have those places that are dry and unfruitful cut off so that we can be fruitful. We become compassionate and merciful when we surrender the things of this world. And don't let the things of this world harden us. And then it allows his love to flow freely within us. His living water and vital substance is a source of life within. Getting rid of all parasites, sucking the life energy out of us, as we know the unclean spirits feed off of this lower realm energy. All we're doing is feeding the lower realm of energy, the darkness. We're feeding it by allowing this fear and negativity in our lives. We've allowed it. Surrender it. Let it go. Say, I don't want it anymore. Cast it down as vain thoughts and imaginations, and take it captive to the obedience of our Messiah, and allow Yah to work to refine and prune us. And watch how fruitful. Look at Job's life, how he had, abundance and prosperity beyond what he had already had. And now he could enjoy it. Now he could live in it, and he could enjoy the substance of life. Yahuwah, who provides for all his children to enjoy, to have love and gratitude. We have to walk in love and gratitude and total faithfulness, and that is our substance. Yashayahu 35:4. Say to those with fearful hearts, be strong, do not fear. Yahuwah will come. He will come with vengeance, with divine retribution. He will come to save you. Yashayahu, Isaiah 43:18. Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and the rivers in the desert. And rivers in the desert. Yashayahu 43. Now this is what Yahuwah says. He who created you, O Jacob, he who formed you, O Yasharel, do not fear. For I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you go through the rivers, they will not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched. The flames will not set you ablaze. You see, we have to go through things. We'll be going through things, but he delivers us from them all if you just believe. Yahuwah's word will stand, and love is the gold standard of his word. He refines us by his word and restores us to a healthy and sound relationship with him. Hebrews 12:1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off every encumbrance and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with endurance the race set out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Yahushua, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for by joy set before him endured the stake, scorned its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of Yahuwah. Consider him who endured such hostility from sinners, so that you will not grow weary or lose heart. And Philippians 4:6, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to Yahuwah, and the shalom of Yahuwah, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Mashiach, Yahushua. Yeah, we have to believe. I mean, there are so many promises for those who believe, those who surrender fully, those who submit to his will. James 1:12. Baruch, blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which Yahuwah has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by Yahuwah, for Yahuwah cannot be tempted with evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. So he allows it. He allows us to have the desires of our heart. And so when we conceive it, even fear is sinful to him. But perfect love casts out fear, because fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfect in love. Perfect love for Yahuwah casts out fear of all the world. The beginning of wisdom is fearing Yah, yes, but the end of that is this perfect love, knowing that he is refining us to be fruitful for his kingdom, so that we can actually walk in the abundance of his prosperity that he has for us, his greatest will and desire for us, that we can walk in it. And like I said before, our Messiah died for it. We have to walk in it. If we hold on to those things that are destroying our lives and sucking the life energy out of us, it is our own choice. We choose to hold on to it because our Messiah said, cast it off, lay it down. I took on your burdens. I took on your infirmities. I carried your pains and sorrows and sins and disease and death, and lay it on me. Lay it on him. Let go, and we will be healed. Little children, you are from Yahuwah and have overcome them, for he who is in you is greater than he that is in the world. Hallelujah. Brothers and sisters, there are so many. There's Jeremiah 39:17, I will deliver you on that day, declares Yahuwah, and you shall not be given into the hand of the men of whom you are afraid. For I will surely save you, and you shall not fall by the sword, but you shall have your life as a prize of war, because you have put your trust in me, declares Yahuwah. Yes, that's it. Faith like Daniel, faith like David, faith like the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, faith like the two spies in the land who didn't fear to enter into the promise. We enter into his promises when we don't fear. We have to let go of fear. Let it go, brothers and sisters, and be healed and redeemed and set free. So I just hope you are encouraged, have faith, don't fear, and have a wonderful, wonderful week and Shabbat when it comes, and rejoice and delight in it, and delight in his ways, and he will delight in you. And I will catch you on the next one, brothers and sisters, Yah willing.